Hi, my name is Mason. I will be doing a presentation on the importance of modern day interpretations of Bildungsroman texts in high school. So, a quick introduction. This project is intended to be a teaching resource provided to high school teachers and students. The topic will concentrate on students in Year 10 and will guide the teachers that are operating in classes both at the standard and advanced English level. It will specifically focus on Australian high schools, however, it could be used and or adapted to suit all curriculums globally. Its focus is to enrich students' understanding of literature and improve their analytical abilities, as well as educate them on the struggles and challenges of growing up. What is Bildungsroman? The word Bildungsroman is German, translating to a novel of education or novel of formation, more commonly known as a coming of age story. The texts tend to focus on protagonists in their teens who go through critical events in their lives, often challenging ones, that shape who they are and who they become, influencing them as they enter adulthood. These events shape their moral beliefs and have a deep effect on their psychology, hence why they are so important to them. The strength of Bildungsroman is creating characters that all readers can draw similarities to in experiences and thoughts, forming strong links between protagonists and the readers. This is why an adaptation is so necessary to accommodate not just for teenagers in the new world, but all teenagers in all walks of life. Why is this topic significant? Bildungsroman is considered one of the most critical forms of writing for young readers. It guides younger readers, often used as a multifaceted tool for education. However, arguably the most important of these being a form of guidance and an example of how to deal with adversities encountered in the transition into adulthood. With around 20% of teenagers experiencing depression before adulthood, it is important that teaching resources in high school are used to educate and aid students on all levels who may be experiencing challenges in life. This then highlights how syllabuses should adapt to with the world changing around us and begin to target new rising problems previously not dealt with in texts focused on in high schools, and also broaden the scope of people they choose to represent. Adapting to a changing world. There are a variety of important texts that are often used as examples of Bildungsroman texts in high school. These include novels such as The Catcher in the Rye, written by J.D. Salinger in 1951, The Kite Runner by Khalid Hosseini in 2003, and The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky in 1999. These texts are all highly useful and are great tools for educating students on the challenges of growing up. However, their age subsequently fails to address a large chunk of the problems that teenagers face in the ever changing world. Due to technology, social media, and a saturation of communication at all times, it is important that lessons taken from these texts are adapted to suit a modern world that we live in, ultimately drawing on new experiences from these texts. Broadening representation. With a growing culture of representation in all compasses of modern day life, it is important that English school syllabus are inclusive of this too. A great portion of key texts used in current teaching programs have strong leniency towards straight white male characters uh, and their struggles. Although not rendering these texts redundant, it is important that alternate texts that provide a broad representation of all people in their characters, such as I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson, which represents well the LGBTQI plus community in its narrative. This further highlights that there is a great selection of modern texts that have a broader representation of characters, themes, and plots that are often overlooked in more prominent older novels. Critical insights into Bildungsroman. Bildungsroman form comments on how all lives are a journey which takes a narrative shape and that lessons are inevitably experienced. With this, my project will use critical essay and insights to represent how the growth shown by authors in their text due to this narrative is impactful and its interpretation is imperative to the education of students. Using these, critics will help the formation and structures of this teaching guide and will bring important information into the way the guide is used to engage with teachers and students. How this teaching guide will differ from others. This teaching guide plans to marry the classic texts that are offered in today's syllabus with modern film and novels. It aims to draw new conclusions and lessons in order to provide students with a modern lesson plan that is more relatable and addresses the new challenges faced in modern life. It is important that the previously explored themes from older texts, the commonly addressed topics of a Bildungsroman, are not ignored, such as young romance, mental health, exposure to drugs, and social challenges. However, it is key that these topics are still addressed and are done so in a way that is more accommodating for today's society. How will these texts be adapted? These texts will be unpacked and analysed in a way that will break down the lessons being taught, thus making them adaptable to suit topics such as social media and cyberbullying that are not addressed in the novels, achieved through the textual analysis of modern day novels and films. It would also allow these stock texts to be used in a comparative study with newer texts, with the comparisons drawn modernizing the lessons taken from the older texts by relating them to the newer ones. Texts that will be offered to compare other novels. I'll give you The Sun by Jandy Nelson, The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo, and as well as the film We Are Your Friends by Max Joseph. These texts address the same issues as the more aged novels, however, are written in a modern day setting, allowing for comparisons to be easily given for students and teachers. Thank you very much.